Hi, welcome to another video. So, a new trend is going around called context engineering, and I want to talk about why it might be the dumbest thing that I have seen floating around. Now, let's talk about this. Let's first talk about what context engineering is. If we talk about the so-called formal definition of context engineering, then it is basically giving the correct context along with the prompt in order to let AI accomplish the task. Now, I don't understand who is the person that thinks they can ask an AI model to accomplish a task that is so hyper niche that the AI model doesn't know about it, and that person also doesn't give the context for it either. I mean, isn't it common sense to give the correct context about what you're trying to do to the AI coder? Like, if I'm asking my AI coder to use a library like InstantDB, and if my AI coder doesn't know about it, then I'll give it the docs URL to it, or I'll try to give it an MCP server and let it gain context on its own. I mean, isn't this what MCP was made for? It is literally called Model Context Protocol, which allows your AI model to gain whatever context it wants with the help of these MCP servers. Like, if my AI model wants to know about a library, then it can use the context 7MCP and stuff like that. Secondly, another thing that people talk about in context engineering is breaking down tasks into correct subtasks and whatnot. Well, that's also just simple common sense. You would not ask your coder to make a Twitter replica or something in one prompt. You'd have to bifurcate stuff to front end, back end, and so on. And for those who can't do that, they can always use things like Taskmaster, which I have talked about extensively in multiple videos. It breaks down high-level tasks into multiple subtasks that your AI coder can look through and accomplish, which is pretty simple common sense, right? For memory for our AI coders to reference, we already have things like Memory Bank, which can be set up and used accordingly for enhanced context. Now, these all are good practices, but to be honest, I use none, and I have been using AI coding for a while now. I use probably one MCP in my Roo code, which is context 7, and probably a fetch MCP tool, and I prompt by hand. I have no rules or anything, and to be honest, the more things I do, the worse the responses get, because you're flooding the context window with a ton of info that the model doesn't even need to think about. Like, let's just think. With all this stuff, now your AI coder is not only writing code, but also writing text, memory, and whatnot, which just makes you spend more and does nothing else. I have seen how complex prompting and multiple tools mess up things in AI coding. I once used Memory Bank, and guess what? My turnaround time for a prompt went from about 1 minute to 5 minutes. Yes, because it always wanted to update the memory with the latest info and whatnot. Similarly, the same thing happens when you have a ton of MCP servers, because it would start to search for things that it doesn't need, and so on. You obviously have to follow the basics, which is to always think of the model as a person who just knows the basics of coding and is really good at it, but that person lives under a rock and doesn't know about new stuff, new practices, and new libraries, which actually most of us don't. Then, you just need to give it the context and ask it to do the stuff for you. It is insane to me what happens in the communities these days, that people just coin a new term and it starts to become a so-called trend, and new repos start to pop up for just reinventing the wheel. It really frustrates me that people are not working on the correct stuff and just getting hyped up with the wrong stuff. I found the term vibe coding to be fine because it gave a term to tell people that they basically made it with AI. But this context engineering thing is so dumb that it makes me think that people don't have common sense these days. Now, before proceeding, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Ninja Tools. Ninja Tools is a crazy AI platform where you pay once and access all AI models and agents at one place. It combines all the best AI models and experiences. It allows you to save over $600 per year compared to having separate subscriptions. You get access to Claude, 3.7 Sonnet, GPT-4o, Gemini, and a ton of other models in one subscription. You even get some more cool options like AI video generation, image generation, music generation, and document chats. You can also use their playground to compare multiple AI responses at once. The best part is that it just starts from $11 per month. That gives you more than 1,000 chat messages, 30 AI image generation, and 5 music generation, while there is also some even more advanced plans if you need them. Make sure to check Ninja Tools out and save some money on your subscription while you're at it. Now back to the video. I was seeing this trend, and I really thought that this was going to be something extraordinary based on the hype. And then I read through it, and it felt like, isn't this common sense? And that is why I thought to talk about this. This is nothing new, but only a way to make things more complex for you. Just use plain, simple prompting that you can understand, and MCPs that work for you, and keep using things like context condensation summarization by RuCode or Klein or Claude Code, and keep using it. No markdown file or rules file can fix the basic model issues, and rather, they make the stuff worse. So, context engineering is basically nothing but a fancy new coined term for rules, taskmaster, and memory. It is really upsetting to see that rather than new technologies being built, people are reinventing the basic wheel. MCP aimed to fix this, but obviously, dumb remains dumb. I just wanted to share my 2 cents on it because I really didn't understand this whole thing, and it only makes things not only complicated for you, but also for your AI model. As soon as the context window issue gets cured, this stuff will also go away in a blink, and I already only use Gemini due to this because the 1 million token context window is amazing. Sometimes, I think that everyone is understanding AI correctly, and then the next moment, I see dumb things like this. So, use your AI coder and just do simple coding, and it is always good to learn the basics of coding so that you always know what it is that you want. It is better that you invest your time in learning that rather than messing around with 2,000 rules files and context files. I was seeing all these things a lot and thought to talk about this stuff as well. Let me know what you guys think about this, and if there's something that I missed, please subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!